U.S. President Donald Trump accusing Israel and Iran of both violating the ceasefire. He made the comments before he left for the NATO summit in The Hague.
But I'm not happy that Israel's going out now. There was one rocket that I guess was fired overboard. It was after the time limit, and it missed its target. And now Israel's going out. These guys got to calm down. Ridiculous.
So those words just a short time ago. President Trump later posting on social media that, quote, Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home, and that nobody will be hurt. The ceasefire is in effect. Well, is it? Let's talk about it right now. We are joined from Montreal by retired Major General Dennis Thompson, former NATO task force commander. Good morning to you. Is this ceasefire still in effect?
Well, it appears to be. However, one cannot guess what's going to happen next. Mr. Trump can say all he likes on social media. However, there are two other leaders involved here, one in Iran and one in Israel, and they are not rational actors. One could even suggest that Mr. Trump isn't a rational actor. And we are, being in a war, they are subject to the law of unintended consequences. So what happened earlier in the evening or last night was that in the flurry of fire just before the ceasefire deadline, a ballistic missile hit a 7-story apartment building in Beersheba and killed 4 people. And of course, Israel has some of the best bunkers in the world, but they build bunkers into these apartment buildings so that you don't have to leave your floor. That's effective against the sorts of rockets that Hamas and Hezbollah would fire at Israel, but it doesn't work against a ballistic missile. And so now Israel is furious and wants to retaliate. We'll see if those planes actually turn around.
And I want to back us up a little bit because President Donald Trump's announcement of the ceasefire came just hours after Iran attacked a U.S. military base in Qatar. Iran attacked the Al Udeid air base in response to the U.S. bombing 3 of its nuclear facilities over the weekend. I understand that Iran gave a heads up this was going to happen. So do you see that action as more symbolic rather than an aggressive retaliation? What's your interpretation?
Right. So there was always the risk after the attack on Fordo on the weekend that there'd be a spectrum of responses from Iran. There would be a response. The symbolic one was what we saw, but it could have ranged all the way up to massive attacks on multiple U.S. bases across the Middle East. And it's important to note that the missiles that are being fired at Israel are intermediate and medium-range ballistic missiles, whereas the U.S. bases are close enough to Iran that they can be hit by another class of ballistic missiles, which hasn't been the focus of Israel's Air Force's attention. All of that to say is there's some 2,000 ballistic missiles that could cause great harm to U.S. forces. So clearly, Iran chose to take the symbolic route, to signal their intent, to attack the base in Doha, Qatar, which had been largely emptied anyway because they were anticipating this. And of course, Qatar is a mediator between Iran and Israel, well, in the 3-way conversation between Iran, Israel, and the United States.
What will you be watching for over the next 24 hours or so?
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Mr. Trump's attempt to pull on the leash of Israel will work. It may well, because frankly, the Israeli Air Force has got to be exhausted after this long campaign. There are only 7 air-to-air refuelers in the Israeli Air Force, and that may sound like a lot, but when you're traveling the distances that they are, their aircraft and their pilots have got to be exhausted, and they probably would look forward to an operational pause. They can turn it on anytime they like because, of course, they own the skies over Iran, having effectively taken out all of their air defense systems. So what I'm looking for is whether or not Mr. Trump's comments to Israel, principally to Israel, will get any traction.
We'll wait and see. Retired Major General Dennis Thompson, former NATO task force commander, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Lindsay.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.